Okay, guys, I have started recording. So, first of all, we are going to start with um, class. We are going to start with class and object. I think we have discussed a little bit about class and objects, and then we are going to discuss more here. What is class and what is objects? You have seen from our previous like remember that when I said you have to understand a lot about core Java to get to secure a job on Selenium. When I'm talking about this core Java, in this core Java, there are class and object concept. There are object-oriented programming concept like what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, what is encapsulation, okay, what is abstract class, what is interface, right? So all of these things we will have to have clear understanding. Then we will have to have clear understanding on data types, Java data types. We will have to know what is variable, how you can declare variable, okay. You will have to know decision making, how you can make decision by programming language. You will have to know looping. You will have to have detailed understanding on looping. You will have to know what is operators, okay. You will have to know what is arrays in Java. You will have to know what how you can use array, okay. You will have to know what is object collections, right? All of these things you will have to know how to handle errors in Java by using try catch, or how you will be handling errors, exceptions in your code. All of these things I have planned to cover by the month of June. Okay, so many things. I have little time to spare. I want your full cooperations, and it is important that you keep up with the class. All right, guys. Okay. Now, today, first of all, we are going to start with class, classes, and objects. And if I remember, we have discussion on these classes and objects. First of all, I want to hear from you what is your understanding about classes and objects. You give me a little bit idea like what you know about classes and objects. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, very good. You are right in terms of definition of classes and objects. But let me give a little bit more information on these classes and objects. Okay. Now, when I ask you, okay, what is a class, right? This is a common question. They might ask you, what is a class? What is an object, right? So, a class can be defined as a template or blueprint that describes the behaviors, states that object of its type support. So, class is the blueprint of the object. Okay. So, in the class, what you do, you define the behavior states of the class objects, right? So, remember, if you take a look here, this method library, guys, this method library, can you see method lib, and then you have all of these methods here, right? Can you use any of this method without declaring an object of this class? Without declaring an object of this class, method lib, you cannot call this method. You cannot call this method. Is that correct? So if you want to use this particular method, you will have to create an object of this method library. Is that correct? So if you take a look here, my caller class, right? You will see that I have in this scholar class, I have created an object, my working class first, right? Can you see this is my working class? In this working class, I have, I think this will be a good example to discuss. If we take a look here, my color class, right? In my color class, I have created an object of my working class. And what do I have in the my working class? Can you see I have a variable here, right? And then I have this method, my example method, print my name, right? Print my full name, right? And then I have another method here. Now, from my caller class, when you have declared an object of that my working class, then you can call all of the method that my working class has, right? And you see you are calling my example method, and then you are calling my print name method, right? And then you are calling my print my full name, right? And then you have another method here, calculator, and then it is returning something, and then you have printed the result, right? So let's try to understand this. If you haven't declared an object of this class, then you cannot call this method. This method is not usable if you haven't declared an object of that class, right? So defining a class is not everything. Defining a class is you are saying, okay, what this class will do, what this class will do. To practically implement the working procedures defined by a class, you will have to declare an object. Does it make sense? Okay, very good. Now, if you take a look here, guys, in this particular uh, in this particular class, we have methods, and then we have what? We have methods, and then we have declared a variables here. So these methods, those we have here, these are the behavior of the class, and this variable that you have is the properties of the class. Okay, so to explain classes and objects more, okay, let's say you are living in a subdivision, right? You are living in a subdivision, and then in the subdivision you will see that there are many houses look alike, right? Many houses, they look exactly same, except probably outside paint or the roof type, right? But most of the houses looks like, in terms of architecture, they look like same. Have you seen something like this? So so what is happening there, right? First of all, whoever has built that subdivision, they have a design of the house. Like in a big subdivision, you might see there are three types of house or four types of house, like in terms of how they look like. So some of them will be bigger, some of them will be smaller, some of them will be medium, right? So let's say in a subdivision there are 500 houses. Out of those 500 houses, 200 houses are smaller size, 150 houses are medium size, and 150 houses are big size. So these 200 houses, all of them will be mostly same design, and the medium houses will be same design, the bigger houses will be same design. So what they do, they go to civil engineer and they ask them, okay, give me a design of this type of house, and then civil engineer will give you three design of the houses, and from this three blueprint, the builder has built all of the houses. Does it make sense? The initial design that the builder got from civil engineer, this is the class, and from the class, whatever houses he will be building into that subdivision, those will be the object, the real object. Class is in hypothetical conception, object is the real Object is the real implementation of the object is the real implementation of the class. You got it, guys? Now you will see that, let's say same thing. If you want to buy a car, let's say you want to buy a Equinox, Chevy Equinox, right? You all know Chevy Equinox car. Okay, if you buy a Chevy Equinox basic model, and if I buy a basic model, I mean the trim that we call LS. So what will be the difference between your basic model and my basic model? Guys, let's say you bought a Chevy Equinox basic model, that is LS. I bought a Equinox Chevy LS, Equinox LS. What will be the difference between these two? Um, so if you buy a LS, Chevy Equinox LS, if I buy a Chevy Equinox LS, right? Both of this car is same model. So both of this car have been prepared from the both of this car have been prepared from the same design. The only difference could be you might have a one color, I might have a different color. Other than that, other than that, if you do not buy an upgraded model, both of the car will be same. If you buy Equinox, Chevy Equinox, your color might be different, my color might be different. Other than that, it will have the same infotainment, all of the inside features will be same. Mhm. Yeah, exactly. See, your seat might be, gray. My seat might be, you know, uh, they are different color. Other than that, the car in terms of design and stuff, in terms of basic, is same. So here, that Chevy Equinox, they first created a blueprint, a design of the car, and then from that design, they are making millions of Chevy Equinox. Is that correct? From the same design, is that correct? And then when the body is built, then they put all of these different colors, shades and stuff. So the main design is the class, and the class is just hypothetical, and then when they created a real car, that is the object. Does it make sense? Now a car will be, you will be able to drive a car, right? It will it A car will have air conditioning system. It will be giving you cool air or hot air. Is that correct? And then a car, you will be able to play radio music in the car, right? So these are the behavior. These are the behavior of the car. Like, it does something, right? On top of that, a car has a color, blue or gray or silver. Okay, a, a car has what is called, a car has windows, right? So these are the attribute of the car. A car is red or green or blue. These are the attribute of the car. And then there are some attributes like, okay, how it look like, right? How many uh, how many people can sit, right? And on top of that, it does something. You can drive the car, you can listen music, it will give you cool air or hot air, right? So these are the work the car does, and on top of that, it has. So same way in the class, can you see all of these methods? this method will be printing something. This method will be printing, like, can you see this method will print something, this method will be printing something, this method will be printing something, right? So these methods are doing something. These are the behavior of the class. Remember, this is important to understand. These are the behavior of the class. And can you see you have a variable here? Can you see you have a variable here? This is not inside a method. This is the attribute of the class. Can you see all of these variables that you have? These are the class variables, right? We call attribute of the class, and all of the methods that we are using here, we call them as behavior of the class. Okay. Can someone explain it what we have discussed here?
All the variables, the properties,
Yeah, all the variables that you have in the class are the properties or attribute of the class. And then right, all the methods that we are using here, these are the behavior of the class. Behavior of the class. Are we do you have any question regarding what is behavior, what is attribute or properties of the class, guys?
understanding is that uh, that method actually that form that gives the formula that is a method
Uh-huh.
that generates some output.
Yeah.
Variable and the properties we declare to carry some values or attribute for the class.
Yeah. True. Yeah, you are right. So again, method will be something, and variables will be storing. Variable will be used. Can you see we have declared a variable here? This variable is being used by this method, right? So the variable that you are declaring, this variable will be used by the methods. Okay. Now let's come back to our discussion. Okay. Now, if you take a look here, we have these three methods. What is the difference between the first method and the second method in terms of type?
A public method means this method is for is going to be used all over the class. Any variable or any other use this class. One is the void. I think both of them call but the second one was the
Okay, so there are there are two difference here. This is public. Remember, public void. You have to understand this. First of all, do not worry about this public. This void. This void means, can you see this method and this method? This is void type. This is double type. Right? This is void type. This is double type. So from the void method, void means from this method we are not returning any values. And when you have a return type double, that means, can you see we are returning a value from this method. So this void means we are not returning any value from this method. This double means we are returning a double value from this method. Okay. Now this public is the access specifier. So let's say that when you say public, then can you see my caller class? From there, my example method you can call. But if instead of public, if you put private, right? Then if you go to my caller class, can you see now my example method, you cannot call them. It will be throwing an error, is not visible. Can you see my method, right? Example method, what do you see? If you from type my working class is not visible because here you made it private. This method is only visible to this class. From outside class, it is not visible. You got it? So public means when you put public. Now if you remove the public from my caller class, can you see you are still able to call that method? So right. So even if you do not put public, you are able to access. Now let me show you what is happening. If you do not put any access specifier like public, private, there are three types of access specifier: public, private, and protected. Public, private, and protected. Now these three type of access specifier, public means like this method, you will be able to access this method. Remember, let me show you where I have these two methods. Numbers. Give me 1 second. Not this. I think I have it in another array. Let me go there and I'll explain it more. Okay. Package 1, my package 2 class, my caller class, my working class. Okay, guys. So that is where I will explain you more. Okay. Now, let's say I have public here. Public. What is public? I give a specific wording. It is access specifier. What is public? Public is a access specifier. How this method you can access the outside world. So what is happening? If you do not put access specifier here, can you see this method we do not have an access specifier, this method we do not have an access specifier, this method we do not have an access specifier. Is that correct? So if you do not put any access specifier, then it is default access specifier. Default. If you do not have an access specifier, then what it is? It is default access specifier. Now when first one is public, but the remaining three method we have default access specifier. Now what does this default access specifier means? What, guys, can you tell me what does this default access specifier means? Means, right, when it is, can you see these two classes, my caller class, my working class, are under same package? Can you see this, guys? These two classes under same package, my package 1. Is that correct? So if you have default access specifier, then this method can be called from any class under the same package. It will be public to all other classes from under same package. But let's say in the same project you have another package, my package 2. Can you see this? Now if you go to that class, my package 2 class, right? If you go to that my package 2 class, similarly, guys, I'm going to create an object there, here, right? And then by this class, I will be able to class dot okay. So here, can you see when you put dot my example method, you can only see my example method. Can you see the other method? We have 3 other methods there. So you can only see my example method from my working class. Can you see? From my working class, you can see some other method. These are like when you declare an object, it will automatically have, can you see object? My obj is an object. So it will automatically have all of these other method. Those comes with an object. But from my working class, how many method you can see? Only one. How many method you can see? Only one. But in your my working class, how many methods do you have? You have three other methods, but you can only see my working class. You can see only my example method. Now I'll call this, and then I will go there in my working class, and I will take a look my example method versus the other three methods. So what is the difference between my example method and the other three methods? Now you tell me.
Public
One
and
is public.
other three is not public.
Other three is not public but default. Other three has what type of access specifier?
Private.
No. Other three has default access specifier. Other three has what, guys? Default access specifier. The first one is public, which like we were able to access. Can you see my package, right? From my package, which is inside, like the my working class is inside my package one, right? Now from the caller class, right? From the caller class, my obj dot. When you put dot, you can see that my calculator, my example method, print my full name, print my name, all of the method you can see, right? Is it correct? Because all of the method you can see, because my working class and my caller class are under same package. So if it is same package, you can see all the public versus you can see all of the default if it is under the same package. But if you go outside of the package under the same, then you cannot see the default access specifier. You can only see the public access specifier. Does it make sense now? Everyone? Okay. And Naved, you got it? But I have recorded. You will have to practice it. It is not confusing at all, Javed. First of all, can you see my caller class? When I am calling, when I am creating an object of my working class from my caller class, both of these classes are under same package. And when they are under same package, so when you have created an object of my working class, right? By this object, you can access all of these methods, public and default. If it is not private, if it is public or default, you can access all of this. But when you are going outside of the package, let's say from here, you cannot see the default access specifier. You can only see the public. Does it make sense now? Okay, now let's come back here. Now we have to, like, you understand now what is access specifier, right? Remember, you have to understand this. You have to know what is the definition of this access specifier word and how you will be using that, right? What is default access specifier, what is public access specifier, what is private access specifier. All of these things you will have to have clear understanding. Now if you take a look at this two method, now we know this is public access specifier, this is default access specifier, right? Other than that, public and default, is there any other difference?
String name.
Yep, here. Can you see? It has a string name and it doesn't have anything here. Right? So now what is this? This is called parameters. This is called what? Parameters. So parameters, what does parameter does? If you go there, can you see when you are calling my example method, do you have to give anything here? No. But if your method has a parameter here, that means when you call them, you will have to give something here. If you do not give anything, then it will throw an error. Now here you will have to give something, and what is it? You'll have to give a string. And then now if you go there, you will see that it is when you are calling this method, you are giving a string, and then this string will be coming here in this variable, and then you will be printing, it will be printing Zahirul. You got it? What this parameter does, like when a method have a parameter here, that means when you call that method, you will have to give a value here. Does it make sense? Okay, now if you take a look at the next one, what is the difference between these two methods?
It was a double, and other one is string.
Hold on. What is the difference between these two methods?
First one we separate one string, and second one we separate two string.
Okay, now take a look. First one will take one parameter, and the second method will take two parameters. String my first name, string my last first name and last name, right? Now if you see, when you call them, can you see first one took only one name, and the second one, when you call the second method, you will have to supply two parameters, and these two parameters, Zahirul will be stored in this variable and Boolean will be stored in this variable. Does it make sense to you guys? Okay, and I'm doing, I'm printing my name is Zahirul space Boolean. You got it? So this method will take one parameter. This method will take how many parameters, guys? This method will take two parameters. Now let's get back. What is the difference between this methods and this method?
There is a two string and one is there is a double. It's like a number.
What is that?
Double means
Just returning a value.
1.2 like a functional.
Void
Mhm.
not have a return statement, and the second one can't have a return statement because it has a double.
Right. So if you take a look, there are two differences here. First method is not returning anything, it is a void type. Can you see there is no return statement here? The second one is returning a double value. Can you see there is a return statement here, and it is returning result. And what is the type of result? Double. Right? Can you see? So it is returning double. That's why here we have put a double. And it is taking, here it was taking two string parameters. Here it is taking two double parameters. If you go to my caller class, you will see that we are supplying two double value. Although we do not have a decimal here, but still it will be converting this 15 into double 15.0. So 10 point, let's say if you put 15.5, 10.5 and 15.5, then both of these values are double. So 10.5 will be stored in N1 and 15.5 will be stored in N2, and then we are adding these two numbers and we are storing the result to result variable, and then we are returning the result. And then if you go back to the caller class, since you are returning something from here, right, can you see we have a my result, and when you call this method, it will be returned, like it will pick something. When you call this method, it will be pick something, it will be picking something from there, and whatever result you are returning, this result will be stored in my result variable, and then finally you are printing this result. Does it make sense to you guys? Everyone, do you understand this? Any question? Okay, so what we have learned so far, can anyone summarize?
public default specifier.
Access specifier, we have learned public access specifier, private access specifier, default access, right? We have learned what is class, what is object. We have learned what is methods, what is methods or behavior of the class, what is properties or attribute of the class, right? And then we have learned three different types of methods. One which will not take any, which will not return anything, right? Which will not take any parameters. Another one, it will not return anything but will take a string parameter. Another one will not return anything but will take two string parameters. Another one will return something and also take two double value. We have learned all of this, right? Is it true? Okay. And you have seen that if you go, like if you come here, right? If you take a look here, if your class is outside of the package, then you can only access public one, not default or private methods. Does it make sense? Okay. Now guys, if you take a look here, I am outside of the package one. Now if I do, can you see? I can only see my working class. But if I want this particular, if I want this particular double variable to be visible from my package2 class, what I will have to do at the moment, that double result variable, can you see it here? If you want to make it seen, one second guys. Hello? Okay, so if you want, if you want that result to be visible here, what you will have to do guys, here instead of default you will have to make it right. And then now if you come here and if you put a dot, now can you see the result is here too guys? What is your take? Good? Are we good? Okay, so okay, so here let me just remove this and let me move forward with the discussion. Now you understand why we create different packages. You understand why, right? Because sometimes you will have to isolate, you will have to put a partition between your code. And if you want to put partition, you create it in different packages. And you put relevant thing in one package, and in package 2 there will be other relevant stuff. Okay, now so if we want to go back to our discussion, right? So as you can see here that I am taking to double value in this method, right? And then I am only doing plus. So what will happen? Let's say that instead of taking to double value and saying okay, do this here, right? What will happen if I ask okay, take to number and also take an operator, okay, char ch operator, okay. And then how many parameters it is taking guys? 3. So over there it will now complaining because you have only given how many parameters here? 2. So if it will be asking for another parameter. Now remember, when it is string, it is in the double quotation, but when it is character, right, then it is in the single quotation. And then let's say I want to do here, instead of plus, I can supply any operator here. Plus, minus, division, subtraction, modulus, I can supply any operator here. So let's say I am supplying multiplication. Now, is there any complaint? Is there any further complaint here? No. Because I have fulfilled the requirements. Now you come here. You have taken the character. Now you want to do the operations according to whatever character you have here. Multiplication. If it is multiplication, then you do multiplication. So what we are going to do here is if dot, let me see if it will take any ch operator dot, okay, so operator equal to plus, right? If ch character operator equal to plus, then result equal to this. Else, if else if right, else if ch operator equal to minus, then you want to do subtraction. Else if equal to multiplication, then you want to do result equal to multiply. Else if this equal to division, then you want to do division. Else if this equal to modulus operator, you know what is modulus operator, guys?
There.
So,
Remainder.
summarize,
Go ahead.
which result equal to is a first divided.
Yeah, you are right. So let me take care of this. So I'm not going to bring the modulus operator now. So here, if it is division, we have to put division, right? So what will happen if we supply as an operator? Now let me execute this. Let me put a breakpoint here, right? And then let me do a debug execution. You all know what is debug execution, is that correct? Okay, let's do a debug execution. Okay, now can you see it has printed so far? If you take a look in the output, right, where is my output window? My output window, view window, and then perspective, open perspective, Java. So we are there, navigate here, right? output. Now can you see this method is done? My example method, it has from inside, it said from inside example method, and it said my name is Zahirul, right? For this method it has printed, okay, my name is Zahirul Bhuyan, right? It did. Now we have a breakpoint here, right? It is now waiting here for us to interact, right? So for that, how do you do? I think I will have a, where is my yeah, I should have an arrow here to move forward. One second.
Oh, I think it's invisible.
Yeah, it is invisible. That is what I'm looking. So I want to go step by step, and I do not see that. Is it still running? Yeah, it is still running. Okay. So let me see. Where is my arrow? I should. Is it this previous annotation? Next annotation. Toggle word. I should see here in this particular place an arrow. Hold on. Project run, and we are on debug, right? Debug. Okay, let's do a debug again. Switch. Yeah, now I see. So I'm here, right? And then can you see the arrow? Step over, step into. If I do a step over, it will not go into the body of this method. If I do a step into, you will see that it will go. Can you see? Now I am here in line number this. Now what is my double n1? Can you see n1 equal to 10.5, n2 equal to 15.5, operator equal to what? Multiplication. Now we are doing here ch operator equal to plus. Is it condition true or false? Ch operator equal to plus. Is it true or false? True. How?
Doing the addition.
So what are we doing? What is our operator here? Can you see? Multiplication. So when we are saying is ch operator equal to plus, is it true or false? False.
False.
So it will not execute line number 19. You will see that it didn't go for executing line number 19. Now we are in line number 20. Now we are checking if ch equal to minus. Is it true or false?
False.
False. So will it execute line number 21? So now it is checking if it is operator equal to multiplication. True or false? True.
True.
So it will be executing line number 23. Remember, can you see this is called if else if ladder in decision making, right? How it works. Now if condition is true, it will be executing line number 23. Now you will see, can you see, now we are on line number 23. Result equal to 15.5, 10.5, right? And then else if, it will not do anything. It is now here in return. Now what is the result? 162.75. So you are returning 162.75, and then you will see when you execute. Now we are here, right? Now can you see my calculator method returned what? Can you see my calculator return 162.75. This value should go where? In my result variable. When you execute this line, you will see that now my result equal to 162.75. Now we are printing out the result. You will see that we will be printing out the result, and then basically we are done. Here can you see 162.5? Does it make sense to you guys? Do you understand? Do you have any further question on this? You understood like how we created a calculator here? Okay, very good, very good. So that is what you are going to practice in your computer. I will keep my discussion limited here in terms of core Java, but make sure that you have clear understanding. You do your research about, okay, what are these access specifier, what is class, what is object, what is attributes, what is behavior of the class, and what are the like different type of methods. It can take parameters, it may not take parameters, it may have a return type, it may not have a return type. What does this do? And make sure that you have clear understanding. You do some examples, right? I will be sending a couple of examples for you to finish tomorrow, not today. I'll be sending a few examples for you to finish, so that this will be your exercise. You can exercise whatever you learned today, you can exercise it. Now, before I jump into another topic, what is your question?
Did you send this one or you send another?
No, another example I'll be sending by tomorrow. Okay, are you good? Very good. Okay, so in this case, let's go back. Wait for my email for the example. I will be discussing the remaining part. I'll be looking at your code, and then few things I'm planning to bring, but it will be regarding your code. It will be regarding browser automation. Okay, so as I said, if you can share your screen, and let's take a look what are the issues that you are facing, and I will be discussing few things by using your code.
Share my screen.
Okay.
It's not run by the browser.
Okay.
Run.
One second, let me take a look. Yeah. So what is the error message that you see?
Chrome driver 3.0.
Hold on. So your does it starts the browser?
No.
Okay. So here the problem
Browser problem.
the problem is regarding the browser. So what do you want to
I don't change anything since the last time. It was everything good and I don't change anything.
got it. So in this case, if you look at the message, right, it says session not created. This version of Chrome driver only supports Chrome version 80. Chrome driver that you have, like if you go back to your if you go to your Chrome browser, if you go to your Chrome browser, and then if you click on tools, yeah, and then here you will see you have Chrome 83. So the Chrome driver that you are using, it only supports up to 80. So that is the problem. So if you go back, can you download, let's see, like if we have a latest Chrome driver, okay, if you say download Chrome driver, let's see if we have a newer version of Chrome driver. Download Chrome driver. Okay, click on it. Chrome. Yeah, click on it. Now, can you say 83? I think this was your React. Download that. Yeah, Win32. Mm-hmm.
Put it my that place where I did.
Yep. Actually, create a new folder there. Mm-hmm.
Give me any option to create.
No, copy this from here.
Copy.
This is the latest one that you have downloaded, right? Is it the one that you have downloaded right now? Okay, unzip it. First of all, right click, unzip it. Okay. Okay, and then go inside there. Yeah. You can cut it. And go to your Selenium folder. Okay. Here, create a folder. Say Chrome driver. Paste it here. Click on the address bar. Yeah. Copy. And then go to your code. And then here, select the whole path except the Chrome driver.exe. Yeah, paste. Okay, the put double backward slash there. Okay. Now run it one more time, please. So you got the problem, right? What was the problem?
I'm thinking that one, but I'm thinking also the code is working before I don't update my
Chrome automatically get updated.
Oh, is option already selected? That's why maybe.
Yeah. It is automatically it get updated.
Stop it. So otherwise.
Okay. So other than that, do you have any further issue? Okay. All right. So you will be able to make progress. Then Nahid bhai, let's take a look at your issue. Mm-hmm.
Run this code first.
two more options.
Sorry, আরেকবার করছি দাঁড়ান এটা এখানে 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 স্টপ হয়ে গেছে এখানে এটা ক্লিক করে বাট নিচে গুলা ক্লিক করে না কি যে আমি এটাতে দিছি এটা আবার
আচ্ছা এখন এরর মেসেজটা কি আসছে আমরা একটু দেখি আপনার ইয়াতে যান প্লিজ আপনার সেলেনিয়ামে যান so this if you go up let's take a look element not visible can you see an exception element not interactable right element not interactable and what is the line number how will you see the line number
স্কলার ক্লাস জাভা 19 আর ওটাতে হচ্ছে 89
89 আপনি লাইন নাম্বার 89 এ যান line number 89 so what you are doing you are trying to click on an element what is that element
that
one second go there href xpath right you are trying to click on that object so here before you try to click on that object before you try to click on that object or link you will have to first hover your cursor do you have a hover method before that
is action my actions
okay
এটা
so you have actions let me take a look once again you have actions my actions a WebDriver object and then web element web element you have that by XPath if you scroll to the right let me see
আমি কয়েকবার চেঞ্জ করছি আমি মনে করি
জি 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 একটু একটু ভাইয়া দেখতেছি দাঁড়ান একটু আপনি লাইন নাম্বার 82 টা ফুল আমাকে দেখান
হচ্ছে
QA interview questions you are hovering your cursor on QA interview questions right and then on the left you have perform and then you are putting in the webly so here it seems like after can you see the problem here after you hover it seems like you will have to put a break you will have to put a wait time in line number 84 as well yeah so sometimes it will work if you have this wait time here then it will be yep so
remove this one or
no keep that one 2 second I think 1 second is enough if you put 1 should be fine instead of 2000 yeah so after every hover you'll have to have a 1 second wait and then before you click you will have to have another can you see you have another 2 second in line number 8 make it 1 second yeah in the same way for the remaining element you put 1 second wait time and then I think your code will be start working
আমি নিজে আমি আবার রান করি জিনিসটা বুঝছেন
হ্যাঁ আবার রান করলে এখানে বিষয়টা হচ্ছে যে যে জায়গায় ফেল করতেছে সব সময় এক জায়গায় ফেল
করতেছে এই জায়গাতে এসে আমার আমি যতবার করছি এখন এই কোডিং এ এসে ফেল করতেছে
আচ্ছা এই কোডিং এ যদি লাইন নাম্বার 91 আপনি এখানে এই যে লাইন নাম্বার 95 এ আপনি আরেকটা 1 সেকেন্ড ইয়ে করেন